guys, if you're joining me, you missed the live lesson today, and that's okay. We are going to do some practice here on this recorded video. We are still practicing. We want to just keep going over that skill I introduced for some of you, which were double consonants. So we were learning about the double F, the double L, and the double S. We were learning that with this rule, when I have a word, so for example, like fill, when I have a word with a vowel and the L, S, or F is at the end of the word or syllable and follows the vowel, we double it up. So here, because I have the ul sound after a vowel at the end of the word, I double it up to get two L's. And this applies for any words as well that end with the S or the F sound. We're going to read a story today called Bill and Jill, and Bill and Jill is filled with some of these double consonant words, and we're going to work on answering some questions afterwards. So, Bill and Jill. Bill and Jill went to play tag on a hill. Bill ran fast at Jill. Did Jill stand still? No, she ran from Bill, but went splat and fell in the grass. Her best dress was a mess. Jill did huff and puff. She felt ill and began to sniff. So let's stop right there for a minute. In this first paragraph, we have two characters being introduced, Bill and Jill. And Bill and Jill are playing running around on this hill. Now, one of the characters ends up falling, and that character's Jill. And what does she do? She messes up her dress. Her best dress was a mess. And then it says Jill starts to huff and puff. She felt ill and began to sniff. So I'm thinking maybe Jill is starting to get upset. She's messed up her dress and maybe she's getting upset or worried. But I'm going to write down what's happened. Bill and Jill, and I love their names are those double consonants. I got double L there. Are on a hill. Got another double consonant, double L. Jill fell and messes up her dress. So the goal today is to kind of stop after each chunk and figure out what's happening in that passage, in that paragraph of the story. And then it just helps us to be able to retell what's going on and really understand what we're reading. Bill said, "It will come off, Jill. Do not stress." Jill did yell, "Mom will fuss and get cross. It is my best dress." Bill and Jill went home. Mom was not cross, not one bit. She gave Jill a kiss and said, "It will come off." So we can tell Jill was getting upset and stressed. I see a double S word here. Because she thought her mom was going to fuss and get cross. Now, what do we think cross might mean? And it even, in the story, we know she messes up this really nice dress. She's worried. She's worried her mom is going to fuss. And we kind of know fuss means to get on you or to get upset with you and have to talk to you. And she's worried her mom is going to get cross. But she gets home and it says mom was not cross. So maybe she thinks mom is going to be mad. And cross is just another word for mad. But what does she find out? Mom's not upset at all. Mom says it's going to come off. So I can say in this paragraph, and I'll write it over here, Jill gets home. Oops, let me move it over a little bit for you guys so you can see everything. Now, what you guys can be doing is, if you want, you can have a sheet of paper out and you can be taking these same notes that I am. Okay? Jill gets home and mom is not, that's important, cross, which we now know means mad. So let's keep going. And again, I love this story. I see lots of double consonant words. The names, cross, stress. Jill said, "I will not yell next time because mom will help and not fuss." So at the end of the passage, Jill just decides, Well, if it happens again, I know mom's not going to be mad. She's not going to fuss, so I'm not going to yell. So in this story, this double consonant story, we have our characters Bill and Jill, and in the beginning, they're playing on a hill, playing tag, and Jill falls and messes up her best dress. And she gets worried. And why is she worried? She's worried that mom is going to get cross or mad. But does mom? No, she doesn't. And at the end, Jill decides, well, hey, I'm not going to sit here and yell about all this. My mom's not upset at me. So, what I want to do now is we're going to work on a couple of questions for the story. And I just really want to work on capitalization, punctuation, and then I also want to make sure that we're going back in the text to always check our answers and see, can I find information from the story to help me answer my question? So this next part, you're probably going to want a sheet of paper and a pencil. Now, I'm also going to be posting this passage on Class Dojo so that you can reread it to practice your fluency. Because again, it's got those double consonant patterns in there, and I want to make sure that we can read those types of patterns. So the first question that I have is I want to describe mom, and I want to use a detail from the text to help me explain my answer. I have this question. I'm writing it down right here. Okay. So use a character trait to describe mom and use a detail from the text to explain. So a character trait, we've talked about this before. Character traits focus on people's personalities. How do I describe mom's personality? Is she kind? Is she mean? Is she funny? Is she a calm character, an angry character? So I need to go back in the text and find the section where we actually get some interaction with mom and see the things that mom does or mom says. So here it starts to talk about mom. Jill did yell, mom will fuss and get cross. It is my best dress. Bill and Jill went home. Mom was not cross, not one bit. She gave Jill a kiss and said, it will come off. Jill said, I will not yell next time because mom will help and not fuss. Now, I'm already getting this great detail right here. Jill talks about mom helping. Now, nowhere in this text is mom being mean. She's helpful the whole way through. She doesn't get mad or cross, and she tells Jill it'll come off. So I think a word that I might use to describe mom is she's nice or helpful. And why is she nice and helpful? Well, let's look first of all. What makes her nice? Well, she wasn't cross at her. She even gives her a kiss. Those are kind, nice things to do. And Jill talks about later, she knows mom will help. So I'm going to describe mom using the character trait of being nice. And I want to use those details to explain that. So I'm going to start with a capital letter. And in a complete sentence, I have to tell who and what the sentence is about. So I know it's about mom. And now, what is happening? Mom is nice. I have to give a text detail. Well, how do I know she's nice? I know this because she does not get cross, which means mad, with Jill. And what else did we say made her nice? And will help her. And I've got my punctuation at the end. So I used a character trait to describe mom. Mom is nice. And we use some text details. I know this because she does not get cross with Jill and will help her. These came from the text. We didn't make them up. Those are our text details. And I have my punctuation. And after checking my answer, I can tell it all makes sense. I'm not missing any words. Something doesn't sound wrong. It's always nice to go back and reread. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a second question up for you, okay? And my second question, and again, we're going to need the text, is why was Jill upset? Now, this part would come at the beginning of the story. What happens to Jill? And thankfully for us, we took some notes here. She fell and messes up her dress. Well, that made her upset. So I want you to take a second and pause the video. Can you use this to answer the question of why was Jill upset using complete sentences? Who and what is happening? Do you have a capital letter? And do you have end punctuation? So please take a second and answer that question. Now, when you are done, you can do one of two things. You can drop the answer in Class Dojo for me, and this way I'll know you've answered it. Or you can pause the video and you can come back here in a minute after you've answered it and check to see, is the answer I wrote similar to your answer? So if you would like to pause, go ahead and pause it now, and then come on back and we'll check it together. Now, if you pause the video, we're going to go ahead and just check to see if we have a similar answer. So here's what I put. Why is Jill upset? She is upset because she fell and messes up her dress. Now, I got that information from the text. I have capital letters and punctuation. So if you have an answer similar to mine, the words might not be exactly the same. As long as it's telling me she's upset because she messed up her dress, good job. Now, again, I'm going to be leaving this passage on Dojo, but nice and neat without all the writing on it for you to practice your fluency. If you can, try to make it next week. It'll be our last live lesson. But if not, come on back here for some instruction. Bye, y'all.